Hey YouTube, John Bookman here. I thought I'd start having what I'm going to call logical discussions about various topics for two reasons. One, so I can share my knowledge with you about certain things. Also, so you can know my opinions about certain things. I thought I'd start off with a logical discussion about starfighters. Which ones are my favorites and why? So, let's begin. My absolute favorite starfighter ever is the Naboo N1 starfighter. First seen in the special edition of Episode 6, when we see at the end, after the second Death Star is destroyed, when we see Naboo celebrating. They fly by and ignite some fireworks. Very brief, gotta look quick to catch them. Famously noted for being in Episode 1, where Anakin, young 9-year-old Anakin, flies one into the heart of a droid control ship and blows it up. Not the starfighter, the droid control ship. Anytime we're discussing ships and ship makers, when you get to the two Naboo ship designers, I think it's Naboo Royal Engineering and Nubian Engines. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm sorry, I don't know manufacturers very well. But you'll notice they have a lot more intricate design with their vehicles. They do more kind of roundish, not so sharp and jagged, not so cut off. They're very elegant looking, and I like the fact that all the Naboo ships have chrome on them. You know, their regular space vessels are all chrome. The N1's got chrome on the tips. It's just nice looking. What I really like about them is that they're an escort fighter. What does that mean in terms of what can it do? That means it's got about the speed of an interceptor with the firepower of a bomber. I'm not saying they are a bomber or that they have bombs. I'm saying that they can pack that sort of a punch. They are relatively heavily armed, considering their size, and they are also very fast. Downside, they cannot travel that far without a fuel source. The 4 N1s that are escorting Senator Amidala to Coruscant in the beginning of Episode 4, actually the ship that Amidala was traveling in, the wings had little ports to have where the N1s could dock in and refuel halfway through the flight. The tails actually are where you refuel them at when they're in the Naboo hangar in Episode 1. The thing that they're like plugged into this little thing in the wall, and that refuels them. Sounds weird, I know. I cannot be faulted for that. I just like them. I like the way they look. I like their speed, their firepower. They got space for a astromech co-pilot, which is nice, on so many levels. They're just a nice ship. I like them. If I was going to live in the Star Wars universe, I think I would hijack one of these, because the only way you can have one is if you're a member of the Naboo Royal Defense Force, which I don't plan on being. I say that like it's actually going to happen. Moving on. Now, the Delta 7, also commonly known as the Jedi Starfighter, is a very interesting starfighter. I like the way it looks. It's one of those ships where if I could pilot one, I would not be able to. Because really, you've got to have Jedi reflexes in order to pilot it. Downside, firepower isn't that good. Also, no hyperdrive. Someone somewhere is saying yes, but they had the hyperdrive rings. Yes, the Jedi had the hyperdrive rings. Quant drive yards, when they made this ship, they found out no normal pilot is going to be able to fly this thing. That's how fast it goes. And the Jedi were like, well, we got Jedi powers. We can use the Force and fly them. And so they said, okay, we don't have hyperdrive on them. And the Jedi were like, well, we could fix that. So all those hyperdrive rings were commissioned, paid for, and owned by the Jedi Temple. Only the Jedi had the hyperdrive rings. And actually only the Jedi had the Delta 7s. They bought out all of Quad Drive Yards' Delta 7s. And contrary to what Rogue Squadron 3 says, Wedge Antilles could not fly a Delta 7. It is highly unlikely. Now, those of you who have the action figure vehicle of the Delta 7 know that the action figure has the pop-off wings with the cannons underneath. That was a feature only with Saisi Teens, Jedi Master Saisi Teens Delta 7. He modified his to have that feature because he did not feel that the cannons on the Delta 7 were strong enough. Now, of course, there is the Delta 7B, which we see slightly more later on in the Clone Wars. This one was... I don't know. I don't get what the point was, really. Oh well, moving on. The V-19 Torrent, I don't really care for a whole lot. These appeared in either the first or second chapter of the original Star Wars Clone Wars before it was Star Wars The Clone Wars cartoon that came out sometime between episodes 2 and 3. I don't really care for it that much. I don't like the tail on the bottom. I mean, it's a very interesting starfighter, has good firepower and everything. Hyperspace capable. It's just I couldn't see myself flying one of these bad boys just because I don't like the tail on the bottom. It's just very awkward. Porax 38, Rogue class starfighter with the works. Interesting starfighter. You know, I like the design. Looks kind of like an old World War II bomber. Seen in the Clone Wars cartoon, commonly referred to as Magna Guard fighters. Cad Bane had one called the Xanadu Blood. Very cool looking little starfighter. I like them. They're pretty neat. I can see myself flying one of these guys. They're pretty, they got good firepower, decent speed and everything. I think they're actually more on the slow side, but that's alright. They're cool. They're alright, you know. I don't mind them. They're okay. I don't mind them. They're okay. I like them. If I didn't have an N1, I could see myself flying one of these. If I didn't have a Naboo starfighter, I could see it. I don't know. I don't really like the V-Wings. There's something, I don't know. They're neat looking-ish. Kind of like a cross between a TIE fighter and a A-Wing. I don't know. I just don't like them. There's just, you know, alright firepower, semi-decent speed. I just don't like them. Y-Wing bomber, made popular at the Battle of Yavin, is actually misconceived as being strictly bombers. And a strictly bomber, it can hold either bombs or proton torpedoes. Cannot do both at the same time. It has to choose either protons or bombs. But it is usable for either. During the Battle of Yavin, they did use proton torpedoes. Other missions, bombs. You know. But that's okay. You know, they're okay. They're really, really slow, but they got pretty good armor. Especially the early models during the Clone Wars. Those were really nicely armored. I don't have a picture of those. Shame on me. I should have gotten one. Beside the point. They're good. I wouldn't mind one of these guys. I wouldn't mind. I think if I could not have an N1 or a Porax, I think I would go with one of these guys. It's not that the X-Wings are bad or anything, it's just you gotta... I fight with the problem where I have to fight past how overplayed they are because of the whole Luke Skywalker thing. Everyone's like all, X-Wing! And it gets annoying after a while. If you can get past the overdoneness of it, they're a very nice starfighter, really. The craftsmanship and everything that goes into it, they're really good, decent speed, nice firepower. Destroyed the Death Star with one, so there you go. Wedge Antilles did us all proud at an X-Wing, because Wedge Antilles rocks. If you don't know who Wedge Antilles is, read a book. Read a book. Read a book. Sorry. They're okay. They're okay. So, this has been a really random, logical discussion about starfighters. I had to cut it really short. I had a lot more I could have said, but couldn't because YouTube has a 10-minute constraint. In short, I love the Naboo starfighter. I wish I could have one to fly around in, because they're all like do 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 do. They're awesome. So let me know what you think. What is your favorite starfighter? Let me know. Tell me why you like it. See y'all. Bye.